Thank you, Speaker. Firstly, before I speak on the government business program, I just wanted to welcome you back, Speaker. I'm sure we'll all agree that we've missed you from this place, and I once again extend my and our condolences to you and your family. And I'm sure you'll be your terrific self as Speaker this week and keeping us all in line on both sides of this chamber. Now, especially me. Now, to go to the substance of this debate, the government business program. We have three bills up this week: the Wage Theft Amendment Bill, the Bail Further Amendment Bill and the Domestic Building Contracts Amendment Bill 2025. On the surface, each bill responds to a problem that has been front-page news, but when you look deeper at the substance, there is an all-too-familiar pattern: headline announcements, half measures and a reluctance to address the root causes of governmental failures. We also have the budget reply "Take Note" listed again, but recently we have not been given a chance to speak on this. In fact, 20 Coalition MPs are still waiting to speak on the budget reply. Maybe they won't get a chance. I know I waited most of last year to speak on Labor's 2024 budget, but didn't get a chance before the government guillotined it. So hopefully there's a chance this year. Now let's look deeper at the government business program this week into each bill that is up. Firstly, we have the Wage Theft Amendment Bill. The original Wage Theft Act was introduced in 2020 to make it a criminal offence for employers to deliberately and dishonestly underpay workers. We supported the principle that every worker should receive the pay and entitlements they are owed. And of course, wage theft goes along a spectrum from good work through to what is deemed to be modern slavery, where someone cannot walk free from that situation. And that is an area that I have worked significantly on over the years, including in bringing about Australia's Modern Slavery Act. And related to wage theft as well with modern slavery, I note that the Victorian government still does not voluntarily report under Australia's Modern Slavery Act, but they could actually do so. It is, I think, a weakness in Victoria's system that our procurement systems, we are not actually reporting on those under Australia's Modern Slavery Act. So I would actually encourage the Victorian government to voluntarily report, as they could do under that Act. But now just going more deeper into this Wage Theft Amendment Bill, I'm sure many speakers on this side of the House would like to speak to this and will note that this bill repeals those Victorian offences and renames the Wage Inspectorate Victoria as the Workforce Inspectorate Victoria. It also gives that body a new role, a complaints referral function in the public construction sector, as recommended by the Wilson Review. But the Wilson Review was commissioned after shocking allegations of intimidation, coercion and anti-competitive behaviour on government worksites, allegations levelled squarely at the CFMEU. The public was promised action. Instead, the government delivered a limited review with a narrow scope and even narrower outcomes. This bill implements just 2 of the 8 recommendations, setting up a complaints clearinghouse that won't investigate, won't compel action and won't address the entrenched culture of misconduct in the sector. Now, the Bail Further Amendment Bill is another bill that those on this side and more generally would like to debate today. This is Labor's second tranche of bail reforms following their partial backflip earlier this year. After years of weakening Victoria's bail laws, they're now trying to claw back some ground, but still won't return to the safeguards that we had before they watered them down. This bill does make several changes, but this is definitely not the toughest bail laws in the country, as the Premier has claimed. The so-called high degree of probability test is essentially the same as what exists in New South Wales, and the uplift in bail requirements applies to a very narrow list of offences, leaving dozens of serious crimes untouched. I want to note as well that this is an issue that continues to cause problems in my electorate and beyond. We continue to see crime rise. And just this morning, one of my team members, Daniel, who has a disability, had his car stolen straight out of his garage in Capel Sound. Inside was his wheelchair in the front passenger seat, and he is now unable to get anywhere, including to my office or elsewhere, without it, and has been left deeply distressed and distraught by the actions of these thugs. So yes, we do need to tackle crime. We do need to actually do a lot more on bail. This actually is not going far enough, though, in my opinion. Lastly, we have the Domestic Building Contracts Amendment Bill, which I look forward to debating because we do need to do a lot in this space. But overall, we haven't been given much of an opportunity to speak about consideration in detail, and so on, so we are opposed to the government business program.